high levels in the Justice Department. Considerations of the prosecutions of all of those people is totally appropriate.
You use the word divisive as a reason that. So even the former Attorney General, he was Attorney General during the Obama administration. I mean, he seems to also agree that indicting a former president, as we have now done, is to invite a Pandora's box of problems for the future of the United States and other countries. I mean, you're going to have other leaders or former leaders being arrested, indicted, but not always for clearly unlawful conduct. I mean, a lot of it will be revengeful, a lot of it will be payback, tit for tat kind of justice and or injustice, as the case may be, because if we can do it in America, we can do it anywhere else in the world. I mean, the host basically said, well, look, I mean, they do it even in France, and that's true. I mean, President Sarkozy was indicted and found guilty on some issues here in France recently, and that went down without any fanfare from the public. To be quite frank, and so I think that the idea that, well, this is a president and this is America and we just simply don't indict our presidents is not a position that I personally take. I'm just saying that in this particular case, given these particular set of circumstances, I think, I wonder is a better word, a better verb, whether doing this another way would have been better. In the end, I say to myself, probably not, just because it wouldn't have worked, but just because Trump would not have responded. Trump would not have given those documents back as demanded, just as he wouldn't have taken it seriously. He would not have respected the rule of law because, as noted in this same interview, he's a norm breaker. He breaks the rules right in your face. He doesn't care. So there's that, right? And so with someone like that, you're sort of left with no choice. You have to bring legal action. The problem is the precedent it sets for future administrations or even for past administrations. I mean, what's to stop the next Republican president from bringing in various Democrat presidents before the court of law on all kinds of dubious and trumped up charges? Not to say that these charges are dubious and trumped up. They are not. They're very serious charges. Some have not even yet been completed as far as, indictments. I mean, January 6th is still a very big case to be put before, I guess, a grand jury. So, that is not to trivialize what President Trump has done or has allegedly done. But it is to say that, imprisoning our former presidents is something that, if he or she commits murder, clearly, or clearly is proven to be a spy against the country and commits treason or, high crimes and misdemeanors, okay, but, is the retention of classified documents, as outrageous as it sounds, and, the fact that he even stored these classified documents in his bathroom and shower, allegedly, the whole thing is so, just incredible to me. It's inconceivable. He stored them in the bathroom. I mean, a little bit funny, okay, but is this a high crime and misdemeanor? And if it isn't a high crime and misdemeanor, is it appropriate on just about any level for the American justice system to incarcerate a former president of the United States? I don't think so. I think there should be consequences. I've said that from day one, especially for January 6th, more so than the documents, to be honest. there has to be consequences. Well, for me, the clear consequence, which nobody's talking about, is to disqualify him from running for future office. He is presumptively, in my opinion, disqualified. Why? Because he just so blatantly disrespected norms in so many ways that to entrust him once again with the keys to the palace is to put all of us in peril all over again, perhaps at 10 times the scale that we did before. So for me, saying to Mr. Trump, you can no longer hold any public office in this country is the solution. Nobody's talking about that. They're still allowing him to run. They're still talking about the fact that even if he is indicted, even if he is found guilty, even if he's even imprisoned, he can still hold office. He can still be president. This is crazy to me. This is nuts, right? This is where the accountability needs to be focused, is that in my view, he should not be president. And he himself should be willing to say, look, you know what? Yes, what I did was inappropriate. What I encouraged is inappropriate. My behavior was inappropriate. And I relinquished my right to serve in a public and political capacity, such as the office of the presidency. I don't think he's going to do that, obviously. He's a very proud man and so on and so forth. But I think that should be the focus of the justice system. Because to me, that is justice. That punishment equals the crime. It's not a question of imprisoning the president. I just don't think that is appropriate. Now, then you can say, well, how would we get him to agree to that unless we put him before the judicial system? I mean, you probably don't. You have to get him to, agree to it. And in order to do that, you put him through this system, and ultimately he pleads. He pleads a deal, if that's how you word it. I mean, you negotiate a deal, we withdraw all these charges, and you withdraw from public life, right? He needs to withdraw from public life. I do think so. I mean, as much as I don't hate him and whatever, I think he should withdraw.